what the hell does Deadpool sound like? And no, I'm not talking about Ryan Reynolds or Nolan North, I'm more specifically referring to the comics. I was recently asked why Wade's speech bubbles are yellow, and we all know comics are a visual medium, and anytime there's like a distinction about a speech bubble, it's just an extra way to try and tell the reader that something is weird or different about this voice. For example, in my comic, when All-Star's talking to his general through his earpiece, it's a piece of technology, you see these little spiked ridges around the general's speech box, and that just is like simulating the static of a radio transmission. When a character is screaming, you see like spikes coming off the speech bubble. Again, it's just to really drive home what's happening because you can't actually hear it. Then all of that begs the question, what does Wade actually sound like? What are they trying to say with the bubble being yellow? Back in Deadpool's first appearance, his speech bubbles actually weren't yellow at all. They were just outlined in red, which again tells the reader that there is something weird about his voice, but it doesn't tell you what at all, and it looks like it's just more to fit the color scheme of his suit. By his first miniseries in the 90s, the outline around his bubble had turned yellow, which I think is more indicative of what they're trying to tell the reader while they're reading this, which I think of yellow as like a sickly looking color. It's pale, and Deadpool's a very, very sick man. His body's constantly dying and regenerating because of his cancer and his healing factor, so I think that affects his vocal cords as well. Later in the 90s, by his first full run, they went ahead and switched to the yellow speech bubble, and it's been like that ever since. And it's in that first run that we actually see Blind Owl describe Wade's voice. She says it's like gravel and gasoline, so I imagine it's like high octane, high pitch, but also has a lot of gravel to it, right? A lot of like rumbling. Cable, several times in the Cable and Deadpool run, refers to Wade's voice as a ridiculous, hollow Demi Moore rumble.
So, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Demi Moore.
Also, apparently, the co-creator of Deadpool, Fabian Nietzsche, credits early 1990s Dennis Leary for how he always heard Deadpool's voice.
And now Jim Henson's dead, nobody's gonna protect them, we're gonna kick their asses, aren't we? Here we come, Kermit, we're gonna kick your ass, you can't run away, you don't have any legs!
And I don't think Ryan Reynolds or Nolan North are too far off with like their interpretation of Deadpool's voice. I just think you need to combine that higher pitch that they do with like a early 2000s anti-smoking ad. You know, the ones where it's like, I should have quit smoking 20 years ago. Hope that helped, guys, and also we are in production on issue 2 of All-Star if you want to be a part of getting that made. There is a clickable URL on my profile. I'm trying to be creative.